If I were to start learning Procreate from scratch, I would love to have someone share with me the entire process behind an illustration. I will share it all from the empty page to the final steps to finish the illustration. Every process is different for every artist, and you will have to create your own. But in this video, I'm going to share with you my process. I am going to be drawing a cute chibi girl watering the plants. I am Maria Palito, a full-time illustrator and brush creator. Welcome back to my channel. Today, we are diving into a cozy real-time drawing session. It's a stand-alone basic illustration. If you want to follow along and draw with me, find the link in the description to my Patreon community to download the sketch and the color palette. For this illustration, you can use basic Procreate brushes included in the app, like a texture brush from the sketching and a monoline brush for inking the drawing. However, since I create custom brushes for my shop, this time I'm using brushes from the sketching brush set and my favorite smooth inking brush from the line art. Let me know in the comments what other drawing ideas or tips would you like me to share in future videos. I think this is the second sketch I have done using the same design, and I like to use as many layers as possible to create depth in the illustration. For example, I am creating each of these leaves on a different layer and color so that I can separate them. Using layers allows you to differentiate between lines and work on them individually without creating a mess. And even though I have defined lines in my sketch, I started to deviate from the initial pattern to give the drawing more movement and make it look a little more creative. I usually like to take time to draw a good sketch to start any of my illustrations. We usually underestimate the value of a raw sketch. I love that it can be quick, messy, colorful, or just bare lines. I have been in the other side, where we want everything really quick but perfect. That usually don't match my expectations. Once I started valuing the messy beginning, every illustration started turning better than the other one. I'd rather make 3 sketches before I start inking than waste a lot of time trying to fix an ugly final drawing. Imagine baking a cake without a good dough to start with. I think the same thing happens with a drawing. A good sketch can help you achieve a final good illustration. If you like the video, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe to my channel so I can keep creating more content like this. Subscription is free and will allow YouTube to notify when I post more Procreate videos and tutorials. I know it looks complicated, but once you learn how to use layers, you realize that you can have more than one dimension in the same illustration. It may seem like repetitive work, but it's really about aligning your drawing to a different level and perfecting it so that it looks clean and well done. Since the lines are drawn in different layers, I can erase easily the leftovers from the lower layer to keep only the lines I need. That's why I like to use a different color in addition to a different layer. That way I know I am drawing on the right layer. And I won't make as many mistakes when trying to find the sections I need to erase. I like to create complex illustrations with lots of elements, but that's a personal choice. Everyone draws in the way they like the best. To me, it's like hiding little details within the drawing that make a little richer and more exciting to draw. It doesn't matter what color you choose from the line art, but it does matter how thick the line is and which brush you use, because every line carries your intention, your style, and your voice as an artist. If you want a clean standard look, I recommend an even brush like the monoline brush. No matter how you draw, how fast you move, or how you tilt your hand, the line will always stay consistent. It gives you art stability, clarity, and confidence. This type of line art is perfect for beginners, not because it's simple, but because it helps you focus on what really matters: your shapes, your composition, and your creativity. If you are more advanced, I suggest using a brush with pressure variation, so you can create thick edges, sharp points, and expressive strokes. These lines add emotion, movement, and personality, and then help your drawing feel alive. As I mentioned before, I draw using many layers and colors, but in the end, all those colors won't matter, because everything will merge into one final line color. This is a reminder that the process may feel complex, but the result is always about harmony. Small details make a big difference. Now it's time to add every detail you need, because this will be the final version. Because this will be the final version. This is also when you move or adjust elements if necessary, before we start applying color. Trust your instincts. You know you're drawing better than anyone else. Once the line art is finished, we merge the layers into one. and adjust the color to just one using a clipping mask on top of the line art and use the drop color option. In some areas, I like to add dotted lines to add detail and create more movement. And now comes the easy and fun part. It's time to add color. When all the line art is in one layer, we set the layer as reference. Click on top of the layer and select Reference from the menu. Then you create a new layer below the line art and start dragging the color, hold and drop the color into the space you want to add the color. To make it even faster, once you drag the first drop, select the color drop from the top bar and then you can just tap the colors into the spaces. Work smart, no hard. I also like sometimes to separate layers from each color. One for the skin and several for the other colors. This keeps everything organized and gives you full control of the layers. Digital art is about patience, consistency, and process. You can know all the technical stuff, but without practice and fun, it is just knowledge but style and joy. Once all the colors are applied, create a new layer on top of the layers. Turn the layer into multiply opacity layer. Use that layer to add the shadows you want to add to the drawing. Choose one side, left or right, to add the shadows to your drawing. Or you can use a 45 grades to apply them. From a blank canvas to a finished piece, proof that with patience and practice you can create anything. Start building your illustration using layers, colors, texture, lights, and shadows. Beyond the techniques and tricks of Procreate, the most sincere thing I can teach you is to enjoy the process. Learn with patience and perfect your own process. I hope you enjoyed this video. This isn't a tutorial per se, but rather a little chat about the illustration process and techniques you can apply to your digital art. If you want to see more of my content, I highly recommend joining my Patreon community. You can join for free and get lots of resources to nurture your learning process. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and leave a comment telling me what you would like me to draw next. See you in my next video. Keep creating, keep believing, and most of all, enjoy and happy drawing.